That can't be a polar bear.
It's a polar bear.
We have to go back!
What is going on, Losties? Back here again for episode 2 of Project Lost. We are back. Every Friday you can expect a new episode, so that's going to be the posting frequency. So let's go ahead and get into this. Let's not take much time, but before we do, of course, we have to go back. So let's get into it. So this was going to happen as far as the format from now on. So last time I did the recap, and also there was a spoilers segment at the end of the video. I'm going to start separating those. So what's going to happen is I'll do the recap and review as if you have seen the episode, for my new people out there that may be just now watching Lost and don't want to get spoiled when I bring in season 6 stuff. So to avoid doing that, this is just going to be the recap and review. Nothing beyond the plot of this episode. And then part 2, if I have any spoilers or theories to talk about, that's what's going to be in there. And I do have some to talk about today in today's theories and spoiler segment, which will be in a part 2. Going to be talking about the special connection between Jen and Claire. And also, why did Sawyer go with the group up to the mountain to receive that signal from the transceiver? Also, Shannon, with that first line, she said,
"You're wasting your time. They're coming."
That's what you can expect in part 2 in the theories and spoilers segment, where we can talk freely, those of us Lost vets who have been through all 6 seasons. So I don't have to weave that stuff into the recap, review, and spoil potential new listeners. So let's get into this, shall we? All right, so we start where we first left off in the first episode, where Jack, Kate, and Charlie went off to go find that transceiver in the plane, right? The pilot got swooped up by some smoke, some smoke figure or whatever. We don't know what it is at this point. And now they're off in the forest and they're trying to make sense of what happened. And of course, the transceiver is not working, so they have that going on. And then we have this conversation between Kate and Charlie. So this is where the episode focuses on, the first main focus with Charlie and what was he doing on that plane. Kate asked, what was he doing inside that inside the little bathroom or whatever. And we find out through a flashback. Are these considered flashbacks, where they go back and they show what happened to them prior to the plane? I guess technically it's kind of a flashback, but I really count the flashbacks, their life off the island, so to say. That's what I would call a flash, but let's just call this a flashback. So we have a flashback of Charlie, and of course he's drugged out of his mind. The signs are there. He's real jittery, shaky, and the stewardess notices this, and then she calls over the other guys, the attendants on the plane, and he knows they're on to him, so he goes running off into the bathroom, and before he decides to flush it down, he gets one more hit. But yeah, so he's about to flush it, and then that's when the plane crashes, and he hits this. Well, he didn't even hit his bed. His whole body flew up and hit the ceiling. So he went back to go to the plane. That's basically what his reasoning was, of going back to the plane with Kate and Jack. You think he's just lending a helping hand? No. He's come back to get his sack. So how good is that heroin? I need to know. Maybe I need to try some. But yeah, to go through that, that danger, you already don't know what's on this island, right? And then you get there, there's this smoke thing happening, because that happened before they went to the plane. So he knows that's out there, going through all that, risking all that, and just to get that little bag of heroin. So that must have been some good drugs, Charlie, man. But all right, y'all. So let's move to the next major plot point of the episode here: the mystery of the handcuffs. So before I get to the handcuffs, we have Michael, who is going to search for his son. That's right. He's going to go find a Walt. I had to throw that clip in there, though. I think I'm going to do that every time. I just love when Michael screams, Walt! But anyway, so he encounters the Kwans first, Jen and Son. And of course, he's trying to ask, I guess, Son, where his son might be. And of course, she can't oh my God. These are not the views and opinions of the JH Review. Let's start over. She doesn't speak a lick of English. Video's over. I'm canceled. Okay. Oh my God. So yeah, he's trying to communicate. He's trying to communicate to Son, and of course, Son is just blah, 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 blah. As far as he knows, that's all she's saying. And then Jen tells her to cover up. It's just like one freaking button, Jen. Come on, man. It ain't like she got cleavage anyway. She's like petite, like real petite stick figure type woman. So, but anyway. So she closes up, and then we leave off of there. And then he finds his son in the jungle with a pair of handcuffs. And then at this point, Michael's like, somebody is dangerous on this island. Somebody is pretending to be who they are not. So after this, we get a fight scene between Saeed and Sawyer, who I did not really introduce the last episode because they really didn't show him. They showed Sawyer for like a piece and Saeed, but not that long, but they get more airtime in this episode. So let's talk about him a little bit. Saeed is adept at telecommunications and fighting as well. And Sawyer is a complex man. So that's all you need to know about them at this point. So after these two guys exchange pleasantries and everything calms down, Kate says that there's an issue with the transceiver. Of course, Saeed being the telecommunications expert, he is able to fix this, but of course they have to go way up top to some mountain in the island or whatever. And Kate is going off once again. Kate goes off somewhere a lot of times in Lost, which is one of the things that annoys me about her. But anyway, so they have to take a trip to high ground, so to say. And then they get two more members to join. Actually three more, I'm sorry, because we get the scene between Shannon and Boone, and of course they get into a fight or whatever, and Shannon is like kind of bipolar in this episode. In the beginning of the episode, she's sunbathing, then next she's crying over the guy that didn't let them in the first class that saved them, in a way, since they weren't sitting in first class when the plane crashed or whatnot. And so in some way she wants to prove to Boone that she can, I guess, take care of herself or whatnot. So she goes off with the group, and then Charlie, who's just an innocent bystander, she's like, are you going? He's like, yeah. And he's high out his mind because he gets his bag of heroin and he all that. So he's just down for anything. I'm questioning, how did he make it up that mountain? Does heroin give you super hiking abilities? They were climbing up that mountain. I'm like, Charlie should have been the first one to fall off. But anyway, so we have Shannon and Charlie along with the ride, and then the last member that joins is Sawyer. But we get this moment where he's sitting down and reading this letter, and this letter is very important. I can't talk about it here, but in spoilers and theory segment, which will be part 2 of this video, I think this does have something to do with why he went off and joined the crew. So that's going to be one of my questions. Why did Sawyer join the crew going to the higher ground? and I need to shut my watch off. I received a text message. I'm so unprofessional. Where's my button at?
What are you doing? Are you professional or not?
I guess not. Anyway, so where we at here? But yeah, sorry, that letter is going to be very important. So before they go off into the mountains, we get this iconic scene between Locke and Walt, who's trying to find Vincent. And you know what? I can't do it justice by talking about it. Let me show it to you.
Backgammon's the oldest game in the world. Archaeologists found sets when they excavated the ruins of ancient Mesopotamia. 5,000 years old. That's older than Jesus Christ.
Did they have dice and stuff?
But theirs weren't made of plastic. Their dice were made of bones. 2 players, 2 sides. One is light, one is dark. Walt. Do you want to know a secret?
Man, that scene right there, it just explains a whole lot about Lost if you haven't seen it. But yeah, when you see the end of season 6 and then just look back at this like, dang, it was there the whole time. I do think the writers knew the end the whole time. I don't think they were just making it up as they went along. But yeah, very iconic scene there. And you know, he's talking about he's playing backgammon, not checkers. Backgammon is a way better than checkers, if you didn't know. But anyway, so yeah, we're gonna find out what this secret is that he has to tell Walt in a future episode. But let's leave off there for now. All right, so another quick moment I want to talk about before I wrap up part 1 is with Jen and Claire. But before I get to this moment here, Jen is off like gathering fish and clams and trying to feed people in the island. And the funny part where he was trying to give Hurley the fish, and Hurley was like, I don't want that. I'm not that hungry, says the biggest guy on the island. But anyway, so then he goes off to Claire, and reluctantly, oh my God, I can't talk. Reluctantly, hooked on phonics. She decides to take the piece of fish or whatever that was he had, and when she eats it, early in the episode, she was telling Shannon the baby hasn't did anything since the last episode or when she landed or whatnot. So the baby hasn't kicked, the baby hasn't moved or anything like that. So that has her worried. But once she eats the fish, the baby kicks. So there was a nice moment to see, and this is where we first see Jen kind of lighten up a little bit. We see the softer side of Jen, contrast to the hard side of Jen that Sun is pretty much seeing the whole episode. He didn't let her touch the fish early in the episode. You saw she buttoned her shirt back up. I like that part too. I thought that was funny. But anyway, so yeah, we get that special moment. But in the spoilers and theories, I'm going to give my reasoning why the baby kicked at that moment. All right, so let's wrap up the review and recap with the ending of the episode right here, as our Losties have made it up to the top of the mountain, and Sawyer is starting to get irritable, and he's asking Saeed over and over to check the damn radio, check the damn receiver. And Saeed, of course, turns around and screams at him because he doesn't want to waste the battery. So of course, after this, then we get out of nowhere.
Go!
Guys, this isn't just a bear. It's a polar bear.
it's a polar bear. So probably another iconic scene right there. I was like, a polar bear in the middle of a jungle. Who knew? But anyway, I gotta give Sawyer the Lost MVP of this episode for just standing his ground and shooting a polar bear that's running right at him. After this, we get the question of where did he get the gun? Kate asked him where he got the gun from, and he said he got it off a marshal. She said, "How do you know it's a marshal?" Now stop. At this point, I'm like, this is way too obvious that the handcuffs belong to her. That's the only thing that I would probably say writing wise that kind of sucked. It was just real easy to, you already knew something was going on between the mystery man at this point and Kate, because she was way too like concerned, invested into him. How's he doing? I thought you said he was gonna die. Do you know this guy, Kate? And then she just says no. And so things like that. So clues are given to you throughout both episodes. And, you can just tell through her facials and her mannerisms that it was her. So if the job was to tell you that, then yeah, she did a good job as far as, her facials and things like that. But I just don't think they should have made it that obvious that it was Kate. But then of course she goes off, and then we get her moment to where she was on the plane and she's sitting next to the guy that's on the ground right now with the shrapnel in his stomach, the U.S. Marshal. And at this point, we get him and Jack, because Jack's tending to him, and he finally wakes up and he asks, "Where is she?" All right, so as we come to a close, they finally get a bar on the receiver. Saeed, I have a bar. But only if he knew he's about to get 16 bars, hip hop joke. So anyway, they have a message that's coming in through the radio, but it's not a live message. It's a recorded message that's repeating over and over again.
It's been playing over and over for 16 years.
In French. And of course, the only person that somewhat knows French is Shannon. So she's listening to it. And of course, the message saying, somebody help. It killed them, blase, blase. And then we get the end of the episode where Charlie, where are we? Only thing, like I said, I had a gripe with is how obvious they made it that Kate was, the person that the handcuffs belong to. But other than that, great episode. All right, guys, thank you for tuning into episode 2 of Project Lost. I hope y'all enjoy it. For you Lost vets out there, make sure to go to part 2 where I will get into some theories and spoilers, and we can talk freely as Lost veterans. But anyway, if you did enjoy this, make sure to leave it a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you in part 2.